I call it Michigan defense drill because it's one that I saw the ladies side, the women's coach from Michigan do, and I just loved it. And I put it in probably 5-6 years ago at least. And we've used it as a staple in our program ever since. I don't use it every day, but whenever I feel like my defense is getting a little bit sloppy, this is one that we go back to. So when we talk about adjustments, I'm not making just one adjustment as to, we need to put in this new play or we need to just do this one tweak. I think the whole team needs to get on the same page. And that's what this drill does for us. So what happens here, and I tried to make it, is you can see there's out of 12 slides, I got 6 of them on here, so it wouldn't be too small. So I think we can all see this here. And you'll get the rest of the slides, the 7 through 12, you can't see. I think you're going to understand what it shows as I explain it here. All right, so basically starts out with all 5 of your defenders down here on the baseline. All right, so we got all 5 of them lined up there. We got all 5 of our offensive players lined up, really by about the volleyball line. If you have that on your court, there's a volleyball line there. We keep them all above that mark. And the first player is going to throw the ball out. X1 throws it out to player 1, is going to come out and guard him. So now we're moving over to this side, and you can see, those 2 players are going one-on-one. We tell the offense you've only got 3 dribbles. We don't want them, taking the air out of the ball. They want to have 3 dribbles to get something done. If they can't get it done in 3 dribbles, they need to pass that ball back to player 2. So 1 passes it to 2, and as soon as that ball comes back, X2 comes into play. So X2 becomes a defender at this. If they aren't paying attention, if they're not getting out there quickly, then 2 is going to have the chance to shoot it if they're a good shooter, or they're going to drive it. So they've got to be paying attention on that baseline. Again, X2 and 2 go at it, and player 2 has 3 dribbles. They don't have to use them all, but let's say they do. They use them, they go over to this side, and we can see here in this next one, they didn't get to score, so they pass back to player 3. So now the third offensive player has entered the game. So the offensive player doesn't come in until you've been passed the ball. Once you've been passed the ball, now you're live in the drill for the remainder of the drill. But that's also the cue for the defender to get involved as well. So X3 gets involved. So now we see this, and this is the part that I like the most about this. Right here, X3 did not run out to guard 3. That's a long stretch there. We're almost 20 feet or so from that baseline out to the 3-point line to get him. And we don't want to be a long closeout. So X1 is closer. X1 actually took the ball, and X3 took player 1 because they were closer to 1. So the players are starting to recognize on defense, we're looking for what gives us the biggest advantage too. If X1 is closer, they need to communicate that they're going to take the ball. X3 needs to communicate that they now have, player 1. So whatever it is you say, if you have your kids run in and yell gap, or if you have them run in and yell the number of the player that they're getting, or whatever it is that you have your kids say on defense, that's what they would say when they come in here. And we would transition through player 4 or player 5. So the defensive goal here is to get all 5 defenders out on the floor and make the offense set up their offense. If you have done that, then you've done a good job of guarding in chaos and taking away advantages for the offense and making them have to get organized. Now, we're not going to just let them get organized, but we're also, one of my coaches would be coaching the offensive side, saying look, you guys missed the advantage. We had a 4-on-3 going, and you guys missed it, or we had this chance to get them when we were a little bit confused and we didn't do it. Now we need to set up something so we can attack them and we understand where everybody needs to be. So our spacing is good and all that stuff. This does not take a long time to do this drill, to get everybody involved in it. If you have 12 players, I usually put 6 on the baseline, 6 up top. We don't go to 6-on-6. I just tell them that one person's not going to rotate in until we reset the drill, and then a new person will sit out. But it goes pretty quick. The biggest problem that we have with this drill is you have to coach your players on a good shot. If you let your players just shoot any shot they want to shoot, they will jack up shots from all over the place, and it gets ugly real fast. So we tell our offensive players 3 dribbles. Every time you touch the ball, you get 3 dribbles, because if you can't do something with 3, you're probably not going to do anything with it anyways. And you have to take a good shot. So we don't want rush shots. We don't want shots that are off balance. We don't want shots that are just, throwing up prayers. We want good shots. And if you're not taking good shots, then you got to sit out. Somebody else is going to come in and play your spot. So when we do that, our players do a pretty good job. But if I don't give them that, kind of ahead of time, it gets pretty ugly pretty fast. But then we run through this, and I tell the offense, your goal, let's say we're running our Windsor offense, what we call it. Your goal is to either score on the advantage or get yourself to 5-on-5 where you're running Windsor. That's it. Those are the two things we're looking for. And then we do a lot of talking with our players about if they took a bad shot or if they made a turnover. Why'd they make that pass? Was that the easiest pass to make? Was that the best shot to take, or could they've gotten a different shot? So we'd help the offensive side of the ball analyze what they're doing, while at the same time, one coach is taking the defense, saying, "Hey, we're not in our system. We yell help side, we yell low, and we yell ball." So I give our kids three things to say, and we can't hear you communicating. You're not moving on the pass. You're stuck to your man and not looking at, like, for example, player 3 out here. X3, you ran all the way out here, and X1 stayed home. So X1, why didn't you speak up and take that person? The ball is the most important thing on the floor. We need to make sure we take it right away. And we have them talk through that. So they have to communicate with each other. And that's where your defense gets a whole lot better. The drill forces them to communicate in the drill. It also forces them to communicate because we're telling them, hey, X1 and X3, you guys got 10 seconds. Real quick, who's going to communicate? Who should have taken that? And we let them talk about it real quick for 10 seconds, and then we jump right back in and we do it again. So we don't ream the players out. We don't put them down. We let them figure it out and talk about it, and we coach them, and then we have them do it all over again. And that has made our defense a whole lot better because of it.